So we have an update on the Subnautica 2 situation that we were following not that long ago. If you guys remember the whole drama that was going on with Subnautica 2 and Krafton, and it was crazy, right? It resulted in a lawsuit on all sides. It was insane, but come to find out, after more information was revealed, that the judge found out that the Krafton CEO was actually utilizing AI. I believe he was utilizing ChatGPT to essentially try to find a way to screw these people out of bonuses, right? They promised an insane bonus. They promised like a 200 some odd plus $1 million bonus if Subnautica 2 were to sell 5 million copies within a certain amount of time after entering early access, right? Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you guys want to see more content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join me every single day, 9 p.m. over on the main channel, where you can catch me live every single day, 9 p.m. Eastern. I hope to see every single one of you there. Now back to the main video. So the Krafton CEO tried to figure out a way to screw them and tried to use AI to figure it out. Come to find out, he actually enacted a lot of those strategies that AI gave him to try to screw these people out of the bonus. Anyway, long story short, the judge decides that they have to reinstate the CEO that was formerly there, and not only that they have to essentially allowed him to work on the game and to release the game in early access, and that he has until September of this year in order to not only release the game into early access, but to also sell 5 million copies in order to get his bonus that was owed to him and promised to him and other people, by the way. Otherwise, he wasn't going to get it, right? Well, what ended up happening was the game has blown past 5 million sales, okay? The game released and did over 5 million sales already. I think it's nearing 6 million sales at this point. Subnautica 2, for all intents and purposes, was a massive hit. Now, because of all that, we now have the final culmination of all of this. This got to be the last story. I swear to God, if anything else comes out from this, I'm going to be shocked. But the final story to this is that the developers have officially won, okay, including the CEOs, and Krafton is going to have to pay the entire team significantly more bonuses than they previously planned, but the CEO is still leaving after the settlement. So the CEO basically got rehired. He came in, put his dick on the table, released the game, got the game to 5 million plus sales. He's taking the money, and he's getting the fuck out. Now, this also answers one of my questions that I had, because when we were covering this situation, one of my questions was, what is going to happen afterwards, right? Because there's no way that you can have this CEO who was essentially, they tried to screw him over. There's no way you can have this guy working with Krafton, right? There's no way. Like, how would you, that's going to be a really hostile work environment. So how would you stick around, right? And that was one of the questions I had. Like, is he going to stick around, or is he going to just do the job, take the money, and leave? It looks like he's going to just take the money and leave. So there goes that. Now, this also brings up the question, like, what's going to happen afterwards when the game, obviously this is an early access video game, right? So this game needs work, and it needs updates. Like, what's going to happen with this team, especially after they realize with the lawsuit that happened that Krafton tried to screw them, right? Why would this team want to work for Krafton after realizing that Krafton tried to screw not only the CEO, but essentially everybody else who was going to benefit from that bonus? It's going to be quite an interesting scenario. But anyway, Krafton and Unknown Worlds lawsuit orbited a $250 million payout, and the Subnautica 2's protracted legal battle has now come to an end. Publisher Krafton will now pay the developers at Studio Unknown Worlds even more than what was previously planned. Insane. As Bloomberg reports, after speaking with fired, then reinstated CEO Ted Gill, Krafton agreed to a legal settlement with Gill and fellow ousted co-founders Charlie Cleveland and Max McGuire. The entire development team at Unknown Worlds, riding high on a huge Steam early access launch that has utterly eclipsed the original Subnautica, are also in for a big payday. Now, the interesting thing is that this particular oh, let me fix this stupid thing, this like pop up. There we go. Sorry about that. So this particular situation, they initially promised that the CEO that was going to get the money, right? It was him and like two other executives. They were going to get the money. They initially promised they were going to share that money with the team, but there was really nothing in writing that said that was going to happen. I wonder if there is now officially something in writing that says it's going to happen, or are we just going based off like promises? I really don't know. I would hope that he does the right thing and shares the money with the team, because that's a massive payout. Think about it. If you are developers over at Subnautica 2, you're probably not making anywhere near the kind of money that you're going to get for a bonus of $250 million, right? Like, take $250 million divided by all the people that are there, which is not many people. I think it's like 100 some odd people. It's going to be pretty good money for them, not including the CEO. So, again, pretty interesting. Gil does say that Subnautica 2 team will be compensated significantly more than specified in the terms of Krafton's original acquisition agreement, with further incentives to come. Additionally, this bonus will now be paid out to everyone at the studio, and not just Gil, Cleveland, and McGuire, which is what I was saying before, and the devs who were at Unknown Worlds at the time of the acquisition in 2021. In other words, after all that noise, the devs get their bonus and the founders get a settlement. That is fucking awesome, bro. That is awesome. I mean, like, this is ironically probably the best way that this story could have ended, and this has been a wild one. Like, we've been following this for like over 6 months, I think, at this point. Over 6 months we've been following this, so this is probably the best way that this could have ended, and we really don't get to see this end this way usually, so that's a pretty big deal. The whole mess orbited that $250 million earn-out payment, which would have seen Krafton award Unknown Worlds large bonuses if it hit certain revenue milestones by a specific deadline. And with over 4 million copies sold in just the week of launch, Subnautica 2 has been a smashing success and certainly looked poised to hit those milestones, which it probably already did. If they're getting ready to pay, if they're like getting ready to pony up the money, this game has already hit those milestones. There's no doubt about it, right? Like, I could bring up SteamDB. And I'll do that right now because I haven't looked at Subnautica in a little bit, so we can kind of just take a look together and see. But Subnautica 2, first off, that's insane. I mean, what a drop off. But I also understand it's early access. But number two, again, 467,582 2 months ago is what this game opened at. But because it has barely any content and it's an early access video game, it completely dropped off. But it really doesn't matter because the sales of the games reflect it, and it's estimated anywhere between 4 to 4.5 million copies sold. I'm sure it's going to be more than that when you factor everything in. I'm sure. So even if this game dies, it doesn't matter because the developers are getting their payday, and Krafton essentially lost all the money from the sales that the game had. Because think about it. If you take, how much is this game? If you take $29.99, you times it by 5 million, you're still not going to get to that $250 million bonus. So Krafton had to pay. I don't know why they made that promise. That's such an insane bonus to me. It really doesn't make any sense, but it is what it is. They got to pay it, so there's nothing they could do about it at this point. But that's basically it, man. I think this is a good way to end the story, and I don't really think anything else is going to come from this, to be honest with you. So that's basically it. We don't really see this happen too often, but today we did. So there you go.